y'all, welcome. I am Hope here at Crafty Hope, and I believe I am about to work on the week 1 of 2024 Seek, Gather, Create challenge. Now this is a challenge that mostly takes place on Instagram. You may see some videos here on YouTube, but I do encourage you to head over to Instagram, look at that hashtag Seek, Gather, Create, and kind of learn more. Now, the originators of this are Lisa Goddard Art, Tina Hoyce Art, Laura D. Dennison, and Mixed Media Magpie. I will have all of their links on Instagram below so that you can go find them and learn more. There is a giveaway, so definitely check out their pages. There's also a Seek, Gather, Create account, I believe, that you can look at too. But this happens about twice a year. For 4 weeks, they issue 4 prompts each week, and then you create something, mixed media art with it. It can be anything. You can work in your junk journal, your art journal, more 3D like I like to do. I could even do jewelry with these if I really wanted to. So we'll see how it pans out this season of it. So this first week, they have these 4 challenges: a fish, a circle, something see-through, and something blue. Now, if you saw on Instagram, I gathered this bowl of things. We will see what gets used out of this bowl. I'll tell you what I've got in it in a second. I do want to mention, because Instagram's hashtags are wacky and wonky, in order for these ladies to see what you've made, they have asked that you make sure you use the hashtags hashtag Seek, Gather, Create and hashtag Seek, Gather, Create 2024, along with tagging at least one of them when you post, especially if you want to be entered for the giveaway. So make sure you do that. The giveaways you have to post, I think, by Saturday of each week. So again, go check out them, learn more. Let's talk about what I've got. First off, a fish, y'all. That kind of had made me stop. Was it last year? Sometime last year, they had fish as one of their prompts as well. And fish just don't work into my designs. If it's a bird or butterfly or flowers or something like that, I've got tons of that. But fish, I hit a brick wall with that. I did find I had a couple of stamps with some like cartoony fish and starfish and things like that, but it was so cartoony, it just didn't suit my style. So I finally, in all of my sorting, remembered I have this funny little picture from a local magazine. And these are pageant contestants. There's fish hanging in the background, and I thought, okay, super fun. I have since seen, and I think, was it Tina? I can't remember, y'all. Used a not a tuna can. She used a sardine can, but it made me realize that a tuna can would work, or I've got kippers, cans, things like that. And I was like, ugh, why didn't I think of that? But it's too late. I already had this. I really want to use it. It's been lingering in my stash for a while. So, and I may go get a copy of it too, so that I have that. Let me scan it as well. Oh, I should go do that. Okay, so for a circle, I grabbed, this is the inside ring of some double-sided tape. I've got a jar lid, and I've got, I don't even know what this is. Probably from some tape also. It's just a little cardboard ring. So I grabbed those. I don't know if I'll use those or not. Something see-through. My first thought was vellum. Oh, there goes my Instant Pot. So I do have these kind of vellum-y sheets with printing on them. I do have another sheet of vellum. I also got this clear Crackle paste because it is see-through. And what else? Then something blue. So this is both see-through and blue. It is like a tissue paper or typing paper, more likely. It's my Mixed Media Advent I did with Nina Fickett. She sent me several sheets of this, and y'all, look how beautiful it is. So we'll see if it gets used. But I also grabbed, as you can see here, some buttons because, yeah, buttons. I've got these tickets that are blue, and then some embroidery floss that is blue. So that's what I gathered. But the more I thought about it, the more I was like, ugh, what exactly am I going to do? I don't know. So let me tell you what I've additionally gathered. So So here's a box that I'm probably going to work on, but I painted, this is, all right, let's move that because I don't think I need those. Those are some blue circles that I've made. I painted, this is a cereal box that I have painted with Americana Deco Arts Sea Breeze paint. I love this color. And then I took it to the laser cutter. I took it to my design software and made some circles with holes in them, donuts basically, and cut them out on the laser cutter. So I have these like donut circle-y things, just rings. You can see again, cereal box on the back. And I have this hole punch that I think it's called like confetti or something. I don't know. It is from EK Studios or EK, whatever, to cut out something. And I'm gonna make bubbles, I think. So somehow I want to put them in some bubbles, and I don't know what else in this box. Actually, that looks really neat with them behind them. Oh, I was thinking of putting it all in front. I may have to go, I've got this sheet here, and I may go cut out some more of these rings now that I know how big they are and what sizes. If I put them back here. Okay, so I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. This is, you know, I've sought and gathered, and now I'm at the creating part, and my battery's dying. So I do want to alter. This was also made using the laser cutter. So I do want to color this in some way. I think I'll probably use some antiquing wax to just get it a darker shade that matches a little bit better. So I have a few things I'm gonna do to prep and come back to y'all. Oh, and also I think I may use some resin. I may make these bubbles and use either some resin or maybe the Crackle paste on top of them to give them more of a shiny surface. We'll see. It's all, you know, it's all play, right? So let's see what happens. I did go copy and scan that image, so I am actually going to work with the copy of it. I also, you can see, darkened that box that I had using some folk art antiquing wax, just some things I did off camera that, you know, whatever. So I'm cutting down that photocopy of the image. I decided I don't know. It's a magazine image and it's thinner and I don't know, shinier. And so I was like, you know what? If I mess up a photocopy, I don't feel quite as bad because I can make another copy. But it's still not quite as like sturdy as I want. So I went ahead and used my Ooh glue stick and glued that photocopy onto some craft cardstock. So this is some heavier paper to give it just some stability, and then I'm cutting off all of the excess. Super simple, y'all. From there, I want to age this photo a little, so I'll grab my walnut stain distress ink and a ink blender and ink up the edges. And can you see there the prescription bottle that's sitting there in the upper left? That's from some medicine my dog had to take, and I was like, ooh, look, it's blue too. Maybe I can work at this. And somehow it's not going to get worked in, but I just thought I was grabbing whatever I want. When it comes down to it, I combine several things. That blue paint that I put onto the rings or the circles, that is both my blue and my circles that'll be in here, and as well I'll be including it in my something see-through along with this clear Crackle paste. So this is, I think it's called clear rock candy or rock candy or something. I don't know if you can still get it or not. Ranger does have a clear Crackle paste, but I don't believe it's the same consistency as this particular one. And this has gotten super thick, and the little brush that's in it doesn't even really scoop it up anymore. So I'm using a palette knife to scrape this clear Crackle paste over the face of my photo, and I'm putting it aside to Crackle. And while it is doing its thing, I have grabbed these printed vellum sheets. I assume they're vellum. They are see-through papers. I got them from Your Creative Studio and one of their monthly box packs I unboxed. I'll put a link to that in from there you can find them. But these I'm considering my see-through elements, but I like that they have like things printed on them. So there is, excuse me, So there is a little bit of texture to it as well. So it's not just plain see-through vellum. Now, if you've just got plain see-through vellum, you could absolutely take like an archival ink or something like that and stamp onto it to get that additional texture. In addition, if you don't have this punch or a laser cutter to cut out circles and things like that, use a craft knife, use a punch like this, use some kind of circle cutter, use your like vinyl cutter, whatever you've got. You don't have to go and break out the laser cutter like I did. I think I'm overusing the laser cutter. I really love it. It's a new toy that I'm absolutely enjoying. So once I got those circles punched, so this is also, I've got circle in a couple different ways. This is matte accents. So it's like glossy accents, but it's matte. As I'm using it as an adhesive and going around on that cereal box side and sticking these vellum circles in there, and then putting another like a matching ring on top of it. So these are two-sided. I still wasn't exactly clear on how I was going to use these, so I wanted to make sure that both sides had that blue color on them. Because I thought I might hang them so that they moved, but that's not going to happen. But it doesn't matter. This thickens them up, gives them some stability, even since it's a double layer of that cardboard and the paint. So they're super, like, I don't know, they felt stable. Like I want to put them in some of my jewelry. They're so nicely done. Now once I stick these together, I am weighing them down underneath. You can see I've got these weird, I don't even know what they are. I got them at estate sales. They're weights of some kind. And yeah, and I'm going to go through and do all of those rings. So you can see I've still got them weighing down. I've cut some of this out to kind of, make this shorter because it's plenty long enough. And I'm inking the edges of these as best as I can, both. And I did both sides of them for these first 3 that I'm going to do, but I end up deciding I don't need to ink both sides, just the edges and the side, whatever I've decided is the front. So, and again, I'm using walnut stain distress ink. Once I have them inked, I've got my UV resin here, and I'm putting just a little dollop in each of the centers, and then using a cheap plastic paintbrush to spread it out. I don't need a thick layer because really all I want is the shine. I will take these and put these in my UV lamp, or you could also put them in the sunshine. The only reason I'm using the UV resin is because it has a super quick cure time. But if you had glossy accents or diamond glaze or even some nail polish, y'all, just something that would add a little bit of shine, any of those things would work. And when I say nail polish, I mean like clear nail polish. I suppose you could use another color like a glitter or something, but anything that would make it shine. I just wanted to give it that bubbly feel, and I'm only doing it on the insides, kind of leaving those outsides untouched. So those have been cured, and now I'm going to work on the rest of them. Once that is all done, I'm turning back to my box here, and I have gathered some beach elements. I've got a little piece of driftwood that fits in the box, along with some shells and some 3D gloss gel. This is a Prima Marketing Finnabair product. And I'm sorry I'm off screen, but I just squirted that 3D gloss gel along the bottom of that driftwood, spreading it out with a paintbrush, and I'm going to stick it kind of at a jaunty angle there in my box. And I'm going to add some more, where I can see there are gaps and holes along the edge of that, because what I'm going to do, and it's going to, I forgot to hit record, or I thought I had hit record or something, but you'll see some of this. It's not a huge deal. Some of this I'm going to speed up and speed past because I'm using gravity here to hold these things down. All you get to see really is the top of the box. You can see I'm trying to angle it so you can see it a little bit better. But it's kind of hard to show you when I'm using gravity as my clamp. Okay, so I've got a jar of sand there, y'all, and I'm putting the sand into that wet gloss gel and shaking off the excess. I'm working on top of file folder so that I can collect the loose sand and I end up working on top of this file folder for quite a bit of this because the majority of that sand ended up coming out. So I knew what I needed to do was really glump in that gloss gel. I did not do that, or put it in layers or something. I didn't do that. That's on me. This was an experiment. I've never added sand to a project like this, but you can see I've got a brush at this point and I'm trying to brush out the excess. And yeah, so I'm going to return. That's why I'm working on that file folder, so I can put that back in that jar so I don't have sand all over my desk. So now I'm turning to the shells that I have collected. So when I go to the beach, I collect things like this. I have jars of shells and stashes of all kinds of things. But I like including the found objects with the whole fish and seaside thing and the Gulf being kind of important to this. These are all things I've collected probably at the Gulf. I do live on the Gulf Coast of Alabama, and there is a Gulf Coast of Alabama. Some people don't know that. It's not all Florida and Louisiana over here. All right, I am using E6000 to glue those down. Again, I've sped this up because I know y'all can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm getting that E6000 on these bits of shell and gluing them in. So I'm using a toothpick there to get any excess out. So because while that E6000 I'm using is clear, it will leave like a bit of a shine that I don't want to have. So I try to get the excess, and so there's that. I'm going to leave it sitting up and down like that again, using gravity as my clamp. I don't want to turn this so things slide or anything like that. So I'm looking, you can't see. I'm looking at my crackled photo there because the crackling kind of compresses everything. I don't know, it pulls at the paper and tends to make it come up. It's pulled off that cardstock I put there. So while I've got the E6000 and toothpick there, I put a little just there to keep it, and I'm clamping it with some clips. And then I leave it to dry. So now that is all dry, everything's dry. I'm looking at my Crackle, looking at that, and that photo isn't laying flat, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. And I'm trying to remember. I'm getting some more of that excess sand now that everything's kind of dried. The glue is all dried. I'm doing what I can, banging on my box, using a little paintbrush to kind of get in those corners and edges and brushing out that excess sand. I just wanted y'all to see that this was, I don't get near as much sand as I want. I'm checking to make sure everything's glued securely. It is. And now I'm flipping over that photo. I've got these two little wood blocks, y'all. They're from a cheap tumbling towers set, otherwise known as Jenga. But they're the same size, and I'm putting them on the back, both to help flatten that photo out. I'm using the E6000 and to help it pop up from the back of the box to give it some lift. So banging out more of that sand, y'all. I just don't want if somebody ends up buying this, if I put this for sale, I don't want sand all over their house. So, but it was an idea. It was worth a try. So, but the tumbling towers block worked out beautifully on this. So it's going to lift it, and that way I can put some of these bubbles in the background. And I've decided that I want to do 5 of them. And I'm not going to show you me gluing all of them, but I'm going to show you me fiddling with what arrangement I want for a little while. This went on for ages. And that I want some of these bubbles to kind of be floating above the image. But I don't want it to obscure the image. Like, I don't want it to obscure any of the writing because I think it's really funny what it says. So what I decided to do to make some of these float is I went and found some of these are little excess pieces when we use the laser cutter that like come out of the center of holes and things like that. And I found that there were a bunch of these
semicircle ones. So they're like mostly a circle, but one side of them is kind of flat. So like almost like a rainbow-ish shape, without like the center portion. So I picked out a bunch of those, and I'm looking to see if there's any others that might work to help me give this floating effect that I want. And I ended up deciding that really those semicircles are what's going to be the best, because it has a flat surface that will stick to the to the box. That would be kind of perfect. I do have one circle there that I had punched a hole in because, like I said before, I thought maybe I'd hang some of them. But yeah, I changed my mind on that. All right, so now I'm starting to like really decide how I want to do this. Yeah, I'm looking again. Where do I want to put all these things? How do I want to place it? Yeah, fiddling, futzing, auditioning. And I'm finally like, okay, I could play with this for ages. Let's just get to it. So, yeah. Sorry y'all had to see all that, but I thought it was best that I talk y'all through kind of what some of my thought process was there, and some of what I'm doing here. All right, so I'm like, let's just do it. So I decided to use my wood glue to glue these bubble circles down. Yeah, so this is cheap wood glue from the dollar store, but it works just fine for projects like this. And I've used it for quite a few projects, and yeah, it works great. Now, those bubbles do want to pop up a little. See, I'm holding that down, so I will have to use my weights to get them, and that's why you're not going to see me do all of the gluing on these, because I had to do this in stages so that they could be weighed down in weight. So I'm going to do these first two, which are bigger ones, get them weighed down with some of my little iron bits. See, that one did not want to stick for some reason. Okay, and here's the last one I'm gluing down. So I've let those first two glue, and then I glue down the two more, and then I'm adding this last one. And since I'm gluing it directly to that other paper and not to the box, it stuck a little bit better, I guess. And I'm going between adhesives now. I mean, for some reason, I felt like E6000 was what I wanted to use on this rather than the wood glue, and I don't know why. It just felt like what needed to happen. So that's what I used. I have it, might as well use it. And I'm getting my focal there positioned right where I want it. And I'm going to weight it down also and leave it be until, because again, with the next step, I'm going to use gravity again to glue the next things. I wanted to make sure that focal was secure. So I'm banging out more of that sand. If you've got tips on getting sand to work in something like this, let me know. All right, my glue ended up coming out on my file folder there, so I'm just dipping my little divot backer piece in, and I'm kind of looking at things. And again, I'm sorry you're not able to quite see what I'm doing, but I've just stuck that little piece where I want it on the top portion of this box. All right, so there you got a quick glimpse of it. I'm going to do another one. There you can see it. And so this is my idea, that this bubble is going to rest on it so it looks like it is floating. That's why these ended up being cut with such wide, like these donuts are extra wide. I wanted to make them thinner, but I knew I was going to have to hide something behind them. So, yeah. So I'm figuring out where I want my next couple bubbles to go, donut bubbles. I don't know what to call these. So, and I'm going to do the same process again. I liked having the glue on my file holder, so I'm going to do the same thing again and glue these. I think I do 2 over here, and I end up having 4 of these little divots. You can see these little half circles. They're not even half circles, they're semicircles, because they're, I don't know, 3/4 circles. I suppose. And again, using the wood glue, and I will just put it on the spot that I want it. I'm going to hold it there for a second and let it feel like it's good and stuck before I do the others. Once I get all of these glued in, y'all, this is done. So I have all 4 of the elements. The fish is there. It's in the background. It's multiple fish. It's not just a fish. I have fish. So that was a fish, and it says a circle. I've got several circles, but I did use a circle along with a bunch more. Something blue. I used that blue paint. Granted, it is a blue-green, but it's blue. To paint the circles, and then something see-through. I've got a couple something see-throughs. So the resin is see-through. That vellum that I cut out is see-through. Oh, also I have circles that are, the vellum is circles. And then the Crackle paste I used is see-through. So I've got see-through in quite a few ways. So, this is not something I would have created without this prompted challenge. I want to thank Lisa, Tina, Melanie, and Laura for this challenge. I'm looking forward for the next 3 weeks to see what I can come up with. It might all be assemblages again. It might just be whatchamacallit. It might be our journal pages. I don't know. We're going to see where these prompts take me. I hope you play along. If you are, let me know. I'd love to go see what you've made. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see y'all later. Thanks so much. Bye.